6th October 2021 Morning Murli Om Shanti BapDada Madhuban. Sweet children, have unlimited disinterest in this old world because the Father is creating the new home of heaven for you. Question: due to what things are there obstacles in this imperishable sacrificial fire of Rudra? Answer: this is the imperishable sacrificial fire of Rudra created by shivbaba. You are becoming pure by this in order to change from human beings into deities. It is also because you stop performing devotion that there are obstacles. People want there to be peace and for destruction not to take place, whereas the Father has created this sacrificial fire of knowledge of Rudra for the destruction of the old world. It is only after this that the world of peace will come. Om Shanti. The Father has explained the meaning of Om Shanti to you children. The original religion of myself, a soul, is peace. You don't have to make effort to go to the land of peace. Souls themselves are embodiments of peace, residents of the abode of peace. You can remain peaceful here for a short time. The soul says, the harmonium of my physical organs has become tired. I am now stabilizing myself in my original religion. I am becoming detached from my body. However, souls have to perform actions. For how long would you remain seated in peace? The soul says, I am a resident of the abode of peace. It is by coming here into a body that I became talky. I am a soul and this is my body. It is souls who became pure and impure. When a soul becomes impure, his body also becomes impure. In the golden age, the five elements are satopradhan, whereas the five elements here are tamopradhan. When alloy is mixed into the gold becomes impure. So it is then put into a fire to be cleansed. That is not called the fire of yoga. Yoga, too, is a fire through which sins are burnt away. It is the Supreme Soul who makes souls pure from impure. Only the name of one is mentioned. They call out, O purifier, come. According to the drama plan, everyone has to become impure and tamopradhan. This is a tree. Normally, the seed of a tree is beneath it, but the seed of this tree is above it. When you call out to the Father, your intellect goes up above. The one from whom you are claiming your inheritance has now come down. He says, I have to come here. This human world tree of mine has a variety of innumerable religions. It has now reached the tamopradhan stage of total decay. The Father sits here and explains to you children. At first, in the golden age, there are deities. Now, in the iron age, there are devils. There was not a war between devils and deities. You are now conquering those devilish five vices with the power of yoga. It is not a question of a violent battle. You don't commit any kind of violence. You would not even touch anyone. You are doubly non-violent. To use the sword of lust is the greatest sin of all. The Father says this vice of lust causes sorrow from its beginning through the middle to the end. You mustn't indulge in any vice. People sing praise in front of the deities. You are full of all virtues, completely viceless. Souls understand this through these organs. People say, we have become impure. This means they were definitely pure at some time. This is why they say that they have become impure. People call out, "Oh, purifier, come," when they are pure. No one calls out to him. That is called heaven. Here sages and holy men chant, "O purified Ram of Sita, come." They continue to sing this wherever they go. The Father explains that the whole world is impure. This is the kingdom of Ravan. They burn Ravan, but no one knows when his kingdom began. There is so much paraphernalia of the path of devotion. Some do one thing and others do something else. Sannyasis also teach so many types of yoga. In fact, no one knows what yoga truly is. You cannot blame anyone for this. Thus, drama is predestined. Until I come, they have to continue to play their parts. There is knowledge and devotion. Knowledge is the day, the golden and silver ages, and devotion is the night, the copper and iron ages. And then there is disinterest. There is disinterest in the old world. This disinterest is unlimited, whereas their disinterest is limited. You know, this old world is now to be destroyed. When a new home is being built, there is disinterest in the old home. Look what the unlimited Father is like. He builds the home of heaven for you. Heaven is the new world and hell is the old world. The new world becomes old and then it becomes new again. No one knows what the duration of the new world is. We are now living in the old world and making the world new. We will create the land of angels on this old graveyard. There will be the same banks of the river Jamuna and palaces will be built on those banks. The same Delhi will be on the banks of the river Jamuna. They show that the Pandavas had fortresses. They will definitely all be created once again according to the drama plan. Just as you created sacrificial fires, the tapasya, made donations and performed charity, so you will have to do that again. At first, you worship Shiv. You build first-class temples. That is called unadulterated worship. You are on the path of knowledge. This is unadulterated knowledge. You listen to shivbaba alone, the one you worship first. At that time, there were no other religions. You remain very happy at that time. The deity religion is the one that gives a lot of happiness. By mentioning its name, your mouth becomes sweet. Only from the one Father do you hear knowledge. The Father says, don't listen to anyone else. This is your unadulterated knowledge. You now belong to the unlimited Father. Only from the Father do you receive your inheritance number-wise, according to the efforts you make. The Father has come into the corporeal form for a short time. He says, I have to give knowledge only to you children. This is not my permanent body. I have entered this one. After the birthday of Shiv, there is immediately the birth of the Gita. It is from then that he begins to give knowledge. The Supreme Spirit is giving you the spiritual knowledge. It is not a question of water. Water cannot be called knowledge. It is with knowledge that you become pure from impure. You won't become pure with water. There are rivers throughout the whole world. The Father, the ocean of knowledge, comes and enters this one and speaks knowledge. Here, people go to a gomukh, means cow's mouth. In fact, you are gomukhs in the living form. The nectar of knowledge emerges from your mouths. A cow gives milk, and so it is not a question of water. The Father, who is the bestower of salvation for all, sits here and explains everything. All are now in degradation. Previously, you didn't know why people burn an effigy of Ravan. You now know that the unlimited Dashera is to take place. This whole world is an island, means Lanka. The kingdom of Ravan exists over the whole world. It says in that scripture that there was an army of monkeys and that they built a bridge. All of those are tall stories. Devotion, etc. continues. At first, there is unadulterated devotion, and then there is adulterated devotion. Dashera and Raksha Bandhan are festivals that refer to this time. After Shiv's birthday, there is Krishna's birthday. The land of Krishna is now being established. Today, it is the land of Kans, the devil, and tomorrow it will be the land of Krishna. The devilish community is called Kans. There was not a war between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. The birth of Krishna takes place in the Golden Age. He is the first prince. He goes to school to study. When he is older, he sits on the throne of the kingdom. All the praise is of shivbaba, who purifies the impure. To dance, etc., is just celebrating with one another in happiness. How could it be possible for Krishna to give someone this knowledge? Baba says you mustn't tell anyone not to perform devotion. They will let go of it naturally. You renounce devotion and the vices, and this is why there is upheaval. Baba had said, I create this sacrificial fire of Rudra, and the devilish community create obstacles, and thus is the unlimited sacrificial fire of shivbaba, in which human beings change into deities. It is remembered that the flames of destruction emerge from the sacrificial fire of knowledge. It is only when the old world has been destroyed that you will rule in the new world. People say, we say that there should be peace, whereas this Brahma Kumaris say that destruction should take place. They say that because they don't understand knowledge. The Father explains the whole of this old world is to be sacrificed into the sacrificial fire of knowledge. The old world is to be set on fire. There will also be natural calamities. All will be crushed like mustard seeds and destroyed. Only a few souls will be saved. Souls are imperishable. Now the unlimited Holika is to take place, in which all bodies will be destroyed. However, souls will become pure and return home. Things are purified when they are put in a fire. People have sacrificial fires for purifying everything. All of those things are physical. The whole world is now to be sacrificed. Establishment definitely has to take place before destruction. When you explain to others, tell them that establishment is first and there is then destruction. Establishment takes place through Brahma. Prajapita Brahma is very well known. There is Adi Dev and Adi Devi. There are hundreds of thousands of temples to Jagadamba. So many fairs means melas take place. You are Gyan Gyaneshwari means knowledgeable ones. The children of Jagadamba, and you then became Rajeshwari means prince and princesses. You became very wealthy. On the path of devotion, during the festival of Diwali, people pray to Lakshmi for perishable wealth. Here, you receive everything. May you have a long life. May you have sons. There, the average lifespan is 150 years. Here, the more yoga you have, the more your lifespan will increase. You have yoga with Ishwar and became Yogeshwar. The Father says, I am the laundryman. I clean all the souls who are dirty clothes. You will then receive pure bodies. I clean the clothes of the world in the second, just by becoming Manmanabhav souls and bodies will become pure. That is magic, is it not? It is such a good way to receive liberation in life in a second. While walking and moving around, simply remember the Father. I don't give you any other difficulty at all. You now have the stage of ascent in a second. The father says, I come here as the servant of you, children. You called out to me, O purifier, come and purify us. Therefore, I am the servant, am I not? When you became very impure, you cry out very loudly, I have now come. I come every cycle and give you children a mantra, remember me. This is the meaning of Manmanabhav. You will then become the masters of the land of Vishnu. You have come to claim the kingdom of the land of Vishnu. After the land of Ravan, there is the land of Vishnu. After the land of Kans, there is the land of Krishna. Everything is explained to you so easily. The father says, end all attachment to this old world. We have now completed our 84 births. We will leave these old costumes and go to the new world. Only by having remembrance will your sins be cut away. You should have this much courage. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says, Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says, Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, always let the nectar of knowledge emerge from your mouth. Give everyone knowledge from them to receive liberation. Listen to only the one Father's knowledge and no one else. Second point, in order to go into the stage of ascent, practice remembering the Father while walking and moving around. Finish your attachment to this old world and to your old costume. Blessing, may you be a perfect angel who follows the one path and has all relationships with one. Explanation, let your intellect keep the company and relationship with the one Father in the incorporeal and corporeal forms, and you will become an angel. Those who have all relationships and all connections with the one are angels all the time. Just as the government puts up a board on the road, this road is blocked. In the same way, block all roads and your intellect will stop wandering. BapDada's order is, first of all, close all paths, and by doing this, you will easily become an angel. Slogan, to constantly have zeal and enthusiasm for service is the means of safety from Maya. Om Shanti. Invaluable virtues of Mateshwari. Sitting, to have constant remembrance of God. When we are sitting in remembrance of God, what is the purpose of sitting? We mustn't just sit in remembrance of God, for we have to have remembrance of God at every moment while walking and moving around. We can only remember those whom we know what his name and form are. If we say that God is beyond name and form, then in which form should we remember him? If we say that God is omnipresent, then his presence is everywhere. And so, whom should we remember? If we speak of remembrance, then there must definitely be a form we have to remember. Remembrance means one who is remembering and the other one who is being remembered. Therefore, the one who is remembering is definitely separate from the one being remembered. So it means that God is not omnipresent. If we say that souls are parts of God, then is God in pieces? That would mean God is perishable and remembrance of Him is also perishable. People do not know God is imperishable, and that we souls, children of that imperishable Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, are also imperishable. So we are His creation, not a part of Him. We need this knowledge which God Himself comes and gives us children. God's elevated versions for us children are: children, by remembering me as I am and what I am, you will definitely attain me. If I, the Father, who is beyond happiness and sorrow, were to be omnipresent, there wouldn't be happiness and sorrow in the split. So I am not omnipresent. I am also a soul like other souls. But my virtues are supreme when compared to all souls, and this is why I am called the Supreme Soul, God. Acha. Om Shanti